Hi, everyone, and welcome to Articulate Thursdays. I'm your host, Nabil, the mild-mannered community development specialist. And you know what? A moderately progressive user of Facebook Live. I hope you guys have been joining us for the new series of activities that we have launched earlier last week. Every day, we're utilizing our social media and posting activities. I'll be sure to leave the information for the upcoming activities in a post here and on our website. As you know, today is Thursday, and every Thursday is Art Thursdays. And for this week, we asked our residents to share with us their creative interpretation of the following quote from the ever-inspiring Les Brown. Ready for this? Here we go. Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you will still be among the stars. Now, before I proceed any further, I again just want to do a double check and make sure that I am actually Facebook Live. So that way I am not simply just talking to myself. And it seems like, yes, it is working. I am on Facebook Live. You guys can even see my wonderfully beautiful face. How you guys doing? You'll see it in a little bit as well. Okay, so since we are live, I can move forward with this. What do you guys think of the quote? I think this quote is so interesting because it really makes you think. And secondly, the imagery in this quote is absolutely fabulous and wonderful. What does this quote mean to you? What images come to your mind? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm very excited to share that we got a bunch of respondents from the littlest residents of Oakville, and I can't wait to share the responses with you. Thank you to all those who participated. And for those of you who were thinking of participating but didn't get the chance to, well, now's your turn. Please comment below and let us know, what does this quote mean to you? What creative juices does it get flowing for you when you hear this quote from the ever-inspiring Les Brown? Now, before I share with you what other residents have shared, I wanted to quickly give you my thoughts on this quote. And what I wanted to do is write a poem. So I'm going to read that poem to you now. The poem is called, and just so you can see my beautiful face, when I read this poem, I will put my face up here. Now, this poem is called Rise Above, right? So it's based on this quote. It's inspired by this quote called Rise Above. Here we go. Rise above the fear, for anxiety lies in wait. To courage we must adhere, for it can break the chains of fate. Your destiny is in the stars, so look up at the night sky. Put your fears behind bars, your potential you can't deny. This is your moment. There is no time to waste. Success is being in your element, for your fears you have faced. In hope you put your trust, and effort is what you need. Take small steps if you must. Even the trees start off as seeds. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let that sink in for a second. What did you guys think of this wonderful poem? I'm going to give you my thoughts on it in just a second as soon as we get back to the presentation. But I was inspired by this quote to realize that we must always have a positive image of ourselves, as that is what helps us realize our true potential. Shooting for the moon to me means aiming high and having an objective, and aiming high and having a high objective can only be realized when you believe in yourself and you believe you have what it takes to achieve it. So many times we stop ourselves from following our dreams because of fears of not meeting our goals and objectives. What if scenarios play in our mind over and over again? This poem and this quote represents to me an opportunity for me to believe in myself. I don't have to be perfect. I don't even have to get everything right. But as long as I try, good things will happen. Let me know what you thought of my awesome poem. Again, all art is creative, all art has purpose, and all art is positive, so only positive comments below. All right, with that being said, let us move forward with the wonderful artwork that was shared with us throughout this entire week. And you know what? I can't even be more excited than to share with you our first quote, our first post. Now look at this. Isn't this the most cutest thing in the world that you have ever seen? This was sent to us by Angelina, who is 4 years old, and this is her interpretation of the quote. Absolutely marvelous and breathtaking. Her mom Susan sent us this the submission, and she let us know that she used a mix of construction paper, newspaper, chalk, crayons. Isn't it so awesome? What a wonderful interpretation of the quote. And here's the best part. After Angelina saw this quote, guess what she wants to be in her life? Guess what her future career aspirations are? She has decided she now wants to be an astronaut after this challenge. That's what we do. We inspire minds. And we have inspired Angelina. And I'm sure, Angelina, I'm going to see you one day walking on the space station, going in space, making wonderful changes happen in life. And we're glad that you shared this wonderful post with us. Beautiful, fantastic, inspiring. Alrighty, let's move on to our next one. Wow, look at this. This was a submission submitted by Melissa B. from the Oakville Quilters, and this is titled Spacewalk. Now, I don't know about you, but who needs to go to space when all you have to do is just tuck yourself in bed and it's as if you are right there? Look at this awesome painting. This awesome quilt. You can see the stars, you can see the astronaut suit, and I love the creativity in that when you tuck yourself in, your head becomes the astronaut's head. And so technically, you are in space every night that you're going to bed. Absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. This is what community is all about. Really appreciate it, Melissa. Spacewalk from the Oakville Quilters. Let's get to the next one. Alrighty. Now, this was submitted to us by our good friend Robin. He sent us a poem that I would like to read to you. And the poem is entitled The Man Who Thinks He Can by Walter D. Wintle. Alrighty. I know you see it on your screen. Here's my go. I hope I do justice to this poem. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world we find success being with the fellow's will, it's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. If you think you got to think high to rise, you've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battle don't always go to be the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. Wow. Robin, thank you so much for sending us that submission. I just want to take a moment and reflect on what this means and how inspiring this poem is and how the quote is so applicable to this particular poem. This brings to mind the wonderfully famous quote. I believe it was Descartes who said, "I think, therefore I am." And so what do we think of ourselves? Creativity, art, it's all about expressing who we are and how we feel and what we think. It's interesting to ask yourself, what do you think of yourself? And how much positivity do you believe in yourself? Because the more positive you feel, it's all about that mindset. You're able to chase your dreams. You're able to follow through with the dreams that you have. It is a mindset. And this poem encapsulates that idea. So thank you so much for Robin for sending it to us through our weekly submission. Absolutely fabulous. Alrighty, it keeps on getting better. Now this took me by surprise. You wouldn't believe this. This is submitted to us by baby Charlie, who, believe it or not, is 7 months old. That's right. You might have thought this is Van Gogh. You might have thought this is Picasso. Nope. It is baby Charlie who submitted this wonderful artwork to us. And baby Charlie's mom, Anna, thank you so much for submitting it. She actually gave us an interpretation of what the quote meant to her. and meant to baby Charlie. So I just want to read that for you because it truly touched me and it touched all the people who are seeing this. So here we go. We were inspired by this week's quote: "Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you will be among the stars." Going through this pandemic has been a challenge for everyone. Simple things like going to the park, participating in community program and events, seeing other family members are all things we're missing out on as we practice social distancing. As a first-time parent, I've questioned if I'm doing enough, if I'm doing a good enough job given our circumstances, if my child is having a meaningful experience as they learn and grow, and often I've felt that I'm not living up to my own expectations. However, this quote really spoke to us this week. It reminded us that we can only do our very best, and that will always be enough. This quote inspired us to think that as long as love is the center of all that we do, our children will be just fine. And so Charles picked up some paint colors and reminded us of the stardust, and we painted his first work of art. And his smile said it all. He smeared the colors on the paper. Wow. Anna, I appreciate it so much that you shared this wonderful and thoughtful interpretation of the quote, and how meaningful and purposeful it was to you. That is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to get a sense of belonging and togetherness. And, we're using our platforms. We're using social media to build that engagement and to build that community, and to have you feel comfortable enough sharing that with us. And let me tell you, you got a genius in your hands here. You got a protege. This is some Matt Damon, Goodwill Hunting type smart that and talent that I'm seeing here. And you know what's most impressive of all? That baby Charles is 7 months old and he signed his name in this. Blew my mind. Absolutely phenomenal. And baby Charles, thank you so much. Keep being creative, keep getting inspired, and keep sending us weekly submissions. Look forward to what you have to send us for next week. All right, let's keep moving forward. Another amazing painting, and this was submitted to us by Carolyn, and this is actually a painting or representation from her daughter, Sophie. Sophie is almost 14 years old right now, but she did this back when she was in grade 3. And again, Carolyn was nice and kind enough to send us a little bit of an interpretation. So I hope you don't mind that I'm going to share what this means to Carolyn and what the quote meant to her. So here we go. Much to my 14-year-old daughter's chagrin, I am submitting a crayon drawing Sophie created at school in grade 3. It has been on my fridge for over 5 years as I cherish the way she captured the essence of Van Gogh's painting, Starry Night. I love the way the moon and star-filled night sky dominates the composition, the turbulent, swirling patterns of the sky above the hushed village of humble homes standing side by side. She even included the large cypress tree in the background. Wow. I think this is a wonderful interpretation of a masterpiece in the history of art. So even though Sophie was not and is not a skilled artist, she captured the expressive nature of Van Gogh's piece. I enjoy it every single day as it allows me to feel, hear, smell the beauty of Provence, blanketed under the dramatic night sky without actually having to travel there. Sophie, you are talented. It will take me years to practice to even do this wonderful representation of Van Gogh. Isn't this so fabulous? I am super excited to share this with you guys. Carolyn, thank you so much. You are one proud mama. I can tell how proud you are. You have had this over your fridge for 5 years. And Sophie, you are one talented artist. It's all about expression. It's all about positive images. And this is absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, let's move forward to our next one. Now, this was submitted to us by our good friend Leslie. And I love it that, this quote inspired her to present to us this absolutely fabulous painting. And one of the things I want to point out to you guys is that the quote that we share with you every single week It is simply meant to inspire you, and you are meant to be inspired in all sorts of different ways to send us your submissions. It is your interpretation of it, right? But at the end of the day, the main objective of this program, of this activity, is so that we engage with you. And so send us your submissions, send us your creative artwork, send us your poems, your spoken word, your songs, your memes. Just send it to us so we can look at it, celebrate it, enjoy it, so that the fun that you had in creating it, we also have in viewing it and seeing it and sharing it collectively, because again, that's what community is all about. So if you have creative artwork, you know what, send it our way. We want to put it out to the community, give you guys a shout out, and enjoy the wonderful things that it has to offer. All right, friends, that was the submissions we received for this week. Now, for next week, we have another amazingly inspirational quote. This is what it is: keep walking through the storm. Your rainbow is waiting on the other side. By Heather Stellucin. I apologize if I butchered the last name, but what an inspiring quote, and how appropriate for the times that we're living in right now. This might be the storm, but there is a rainbow coming as well, isn't there? And just like the quote said, we have to believe in positivity, and we have to have positive thoughts in order for us to reach our potential. So please let us know how this quote is interpreted for you, whether that be in a drawing, in a painting, in an art, song, spoken word, anything you can think of. And one of the highlights that I got out of today was exactly how many parents shared the wonderful artworks of their children. If you think of this activity as something you guys can do collectively as a family, and how proud parents are when their child and their children are being creative, and let this be an avenue in which you guys are participating in activities collectively. You're utilizing the quotes as an inspiration to artistically express yourself, and the children are using this as an activity to be engaged, to be creative, to be purposeful during such time. So once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you guys again on April the 23rd at 4 p.m. And you guys can use this wonderful quote to share with us your wonderful thoughts. I'm Nabil. Stay safe. Be great, Oakville. Take care.